Hello, today Mr. Revelino will show us how to make a print page, properly dimension it, and save it using Inventor.
Hello, I'd like to share with you how to take your Inventor part that you've made and put it onto a drawing sheet. First, we're going to go up and create a brand new file. We're going to create a standard IDW, and this stands for Inventor Drawing. So I'll click that, click Create. And what comes up is a large document. Now the standard size here is set up for C size paper, which is quite large and won't come out of a standard printer. So I'm going to change the size of that in this project, as well as put my part on here. So to begin, I'm going to change the sheet to an A size paper with a right click, edit sheet, and then change where it says size from C to A. Now you're going to notice that the title block got much larger on my paper. So I'll remove that by doing a right click on the ANSI large and editing by delete. That leaves me with a default border around the outside. Next, I'm going to go up to base, and base will allow me to find my part. So I'm going to do a search where I stored my part. Block 2 is my example. I'll open my part. And when I bring it onto my sheet, it defaults to showing me the front view at a scale of 1:1. If I continue with this scale, this part will not be able to fit on the sheet. So I will edit the scale to 0.75. That'll reduce the size, allowing it to fit all views on my sheet. So now I will click in the lower left-hand corner to place the front view. Inventor automatically turned on the projected toolbar for me, allowing me to project a view above for the top. To the right, I get the right side view. And if I move in any other orientation, I would get an isometric view from that angle. So I'll place the isometric view up in the top right corner. Once I've placed those views, they're temporarily established. I need to right click and create. Now I get the permanent views, front, top, and right side, as well as the 3D view in the top corner. If I would like to take this farther, I would go to the point where I'm going to annotate. And with annotations, I can add my dimensions or I can add additional text. I'm going to start by adding my dimensions. Now I'm going to follow along with the dimensioning rules established before, and I'm going to place the dimension from this side of the block and stretch over to the other side of the block and measure that length is 5 inches. I always like to establish the longest the block is first. If I uncheck this box, it'll stop asking me if I want to edit the dimension once it's been placed. So I'll do that now. And OK. Now I start off with my biggest length. Usually then I go to my biggest height from bottom to top. And then I place that with enough room to place smaller dimensions on the inside. And then also I'd like to know the distance from the front of the block to the back of the block. I can place that either in the right side view or in the top view. I prefer to pick the top view. Now I'm going to pick just the line that I want to measure this time and pull that line out. And now I have the biggest dimensions: height, width, and length. To proceed, I now look and see if there's any other features I haven't identified the length of. For example, this feature right here. So if I pick the feature and move straight up, it'll tell me the dimension of that feature. And if I take the next feature in the sequence, I can pick that feature. And now I have 2 of those features. I can figure this 1 inch out without any extra effort. So I'm not going to share that because that would be a double dimension. Now, looking at the front view, I have all the lengths established. I'm going to take a look at the side view here. Now I can see this feature. This is a hidden feature for hidden line, for this feature here. Now I could show this feature's dimension in the front view or in the side view. I prefer to group my dimensions together. So I'm going to measure from the hidden line to the top of the block, sharing that that feature is 1 inch tall. And then I can figure the other dimension based on that opening. So I've got my heights established, and then every feature appears to be 3 inches wide. So I'm all set there. Once I'm completed the dimensioning, it's time to place some text on my sheet. I'm going to click where I'd like to place the text. It could be in the middle, it could be on the bottom. You choose. So I'll place my text, and often I try to make my text larger so it's easier to be seen. So I'm going to change it to 0.2 inches and then put my name on here. Now, I like to add additional information, like the period that the work is done in. We'll say it's being done for period 1, and some information about the part. I'm going to call this part, block 1, or better yet, block 2. So I can take that information. If I would like to turn off my tool, I can turn off the tool, and I can manipulate and move my features around just by grabbing the red dotted line. I can move things to an appropriate location where they're easy to see and it looks professionally laid out. That concludes this video on placing parts onto a drawing sheet, also adding dimensions. Oh, but one more thing. Let's talk about printing. If you would like to print this sheet, you'll go up to File, or iPro in this case, Print, and then I like to preview, but I'm going to go Preview, and then make sure it fits on my sheet, and then Print, and select the printer name that you're networked to, or maybe it's not a networked printer for you. And then when I select that, I'll say OK, and my sheet is now printed. It's always a great idea to save your work. So again, go up to the File, or they call it the iPro button. Save your work in a location that you'll know where to find it. So I like to save as, and then put it in a location where I can easily come back to it another day. So I'm going to place this in my folder, in my drawings folder, and I'm going to call this block 2 again, but this time it's block 2 IDW. And save. I'll replace the old copy because I like this new copy better. And once again, that concludes this demonstration of how to set up an Inventor drawing sheet.